Warning, there will be spoilers for the Cassian Andor series finale directly following this message. If you haven't seen it yet, proceed with extreme caution. You have been warned. The Cassian Andor Season 1 finale is here, and what a freaking episode it is. If you were holding out and waiting around to see Jedi, Sith, Darth Vader, lightsabers, the Force, or any of the other elements we have seen in just about every other Star Wars project, then I'm sorry you were left disappointed, because you will not find it in Andor. Except that weird lightsaber weapon on Luthen Rael's ship, which still isn't confirmed to be lightsabers, nor do I think it will be, nor should be. But anyway, this episode relies 100% on the human factor of war, as the other episodes. Then there's the end credit scene. Wow, I'm not one of those YouTubers who gets upset when I'm wrong, and I was very wrong in this case. I'm actually happy about that. Why? Because I thought this thing would ruin the show. But it didn't. It was masterfully done in a way that didn't ruin what we know about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I don't want to say what that thing is, though. Just go watch it. And if you love Star Wars as much as I do, or you're just a casual fan wanting to talk about the greatest franchise ever created, then you've come to the right place, because Star Wars is all I talk about. And I upload new content, well, whenever I can. So if you have an interest or love for Star Wars, go on and hit that subscribe button and join this growing channel for deeper discussions, theories, and Star Wars lore. Each one of you is appreciated more than you know. With that, let's go on with it. Tony Gilroy started this whole trend of average people becoming heroes in the Star Wars universe when he wrote Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Yes, Tony Gilroy co-wrote that script. Then he continued the idea in Season 1 of Andor. It's about how average people stand up to a tyrannical fascist regime, and against all hope, they still fight and rebel. I know I've made other videos speculating that Luthen Rael may be a Sith Lord or a Jedi or other Force wielder. But if he is any of those things, I don't think it will be outwardly shown, just hinted at. And I don't think it should be either. Why? Because the Andor show isn't about that. It's about the human side of war, not superpowers or a mystical field guiding actions and obeying your commands. It isn't about the leaders of either side of this war either, but rather the people who win and lose rebellions, from the mid-level officers to the foot soldiers on either side. Okay, other than Mon Mothma, of course. But there's no Princess Leia, no Luke Skywalker, no Han Solo, and no upper echelon of the Empire. What makes this story, and especially the season finale, great is the emotion, the tension, the chances taken by normal beings when they have no right to have any hope of a victory. And in the beginning, it isn't about a victorious rebellion. It's about showing the Empire that they won't be subjugated without a fight. That if you're going to occupy and rule over them, it'll be a brick-by-brick battle. They feel as though they will likely lose, but it will be a hard victory for their occupiers. And that is something we haven't seen in Star Wars in the past. It's always been about the shiny leaders and their victories. This Andor series is dark, dirty, gritty, and it shows the lines between right and wrong being blurred. I was going to do another scene-by-scene breakdown of the Andor Season 1 finale, as I've done in the past with other episodes, but I felt you know the scenes, if you've seen it, of course. Instead, I'll sum it up in tropes and arcs we've seen come together. Cassian Andor returns to Ferrix after learning of his mother's passing. We can tell he knows it's a bad idea, as he is very careful not to get spotted. But he isn't the only one who has returned to his home. Everyone we have seen in previous episodes who are looking for Cassian Andor have converged on the funeral of Marva Andor, hoping Cassian will return, so they can either capture or kill him. Dedra Meero, Cyril Karn, Luthen Rael, and Vel Sartha are all present in this explosive buildup. As ISB supervisor, Dedra Meero sets the trap around Marva's funeral. Vel Sartha and Cinta Kaz watch. Luthen Rael shows up to ensure Cassian Andor is killed firsthand, and Cyril Karn is still waiting his revenge for Cassian Andor for embarrassing him in the first arc of the story. But back to Luthen. In my last video, I hinted around that Luthen would rather take matters into his own hands than sit around and wait. Sure, he waited for the Aldhani heist to conclude, but we could tell he didn't want to. His assistant was there to talk him down and bring him back to where he needs to be. This time, he didn't listen to her when she told him his presence could exacerbate the problem and that he should come home. But being impatient, he went to Ferrix anyway. And the end result? Well, let's just say he wasn't expecting what he found. A man with nothing left to live for. Dedra Meero finds herself in the middle of an uprising and isn't prepared. She had set the riot troops out for the funeral, but that was more of a show of force rather than an attack method. She thought by flexing the Empire's manhood, the citizens would just go about their funeral in peace and the trap for Cassian would be successful if he showed up. But the uprising did prove one thing. There was someone unexpected who had her back. Cyril Karn. If there was any thought as to why he was even there, it was for this moment. His ambitions and motivations gained him favor with the woman he admired as an unintended consequence. Just as the uprising was about to begin and the final moments of Marva's message played out from B2 Emo, yes, B2 Emo, I love that name, the lovable droid was kicked over by an Imperial officer. This made my own emotions kick in, and I wanted to relieve that officer of his foot. Yes, it's a disturbing reaction, but that's how emotionally involved this show gets us. No, I wouldn't really cut off his foot. It was a euphemism. Or an overreaction. Whatever. Okay, I knew this season would end on a cliffhanger. If you were expecting everything to be wrapped up nice and tight, again, I'm sorry you were disappointed. But the writing once again shows nothing less than amazing attention to detail. The acting is far above anything we have seen in any Star Wars project, and the directing is phenomenal. Let's not forget the music, especially in the finale. It makes us sad when we feel the loss. It makes us ready to stand up and fight alongside the crowd, and it builds the tension all the way up to the final battle. I've liked the music in the whole series, but this was some of the best. No triumphant fanfare, no marching anthem. This soundtrack was raw, dirty, and oftentimes out of tune for the purpose of getting us to the point where we are on the edge of our seats. I don't know how much praise of this episode you're going to listen to from me, but I will leave this final thought with you. As everyone involved in standing up to the Empire, and there are many who deserve the title hero, there are two that become my favorites. The first being Wilmon Pack, the son of Salman Pack. Remember him? He was the first to be brought in by the Empire and tortured with the headphones, then killed. His son Wilmon chucked the homemade bomb at the Empire and really took them off their feet. But he didn't do it for the greater good. He didn't do it for some victorious rebellion. He did it for his father. He did it because taking his father from him hurt him so deeply, and we can feel his pain throughout this episode. A true hero amongst average people. The second, and I may sound like I'm not acknowledging others with bigger roles, but that's not the case. But the hero I'm speaking of is the Time Grappler, or the hammer guy in the tower. By vigilantly hammering away at his Beskar anvil, yes, it's confirmed to be Beskar, he sets the tone for the coming revolution. He continues this even through the fighting. When he Spartan kicks the stormtrooper out of the tower, we have to cheer. It's as if he's saying, "This is my tower, and you scum will not invade my territory." It's like his own little fort, which he is defending, to keep his place, to keep his honor, and to do his part in the larger uprising. That hammer will continue to strike its bell regardless of the danger. As I said, that isn't downplaying others in the revolution. Brasso is a homie to be reckoned with. He even headbutts a stormtrooper. Ouch, that had to hurt his face. But let's not also forget those who perished and will never see the success of their fight. Rest in peace. In all, I still give the Cassian Andor series an 11 out of 10. It's better than anything we've seen in recent years in Star Wars, and the production of the series is a grand scale. If there is anything about this series you'd like me to talk about, please leave it in the comments. I left out a lot of the show because I don't want to spoil everything. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Be good to each other. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community is the only way.